Hello, and welcome to Haunting, Purgatory's premiere podcast. I'm your host, Teresa. We'll be bringing you different ghost stories each week, straight from the person who experienced it firsthand. Some will be unsettling, some unnerving, some even downright terrifying. But all of them will be totally true. Listen to Haunting on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Andrea Gunning, host of the all-new podcast, There and Gone. It's a real-life story of two people who left a crowded Philadelphia bar, walked to their truck, and vanished.
A truck and two people just don't disappear.
The FBI called it murder for hire. But which victim was the intended target and why? Listen to There and Gone South Street on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
In 1980, while El Salvador sat on the brink of war, one man held together the fragile peace, Archbishop Oscar Romero. He was brutally assassinated in front of dozens of his loyal followers. His death marked the start of a civil war that left more than 75,000 people dead and 1 million more displaced around the world. My family includes both, those that fled and those that died. Listen to Sacred Scandal, Nation of Saints on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to part 2 of our interview with Rhonda Shear, also known as Adult Kimmy from Season 3, Episode 19. We touched on so many things already in part 1, but there's still so much to uncover in this episode. We guarantee you're going to love it. Here's Rhonda.
I would love to hear a little bit about your book, Up All Night. Can you tell us some about it and about some of that show and what that was like for you?
Yeah.
It's called Up All Night, and I just had that recognition. But it's really what I should have called it. I said, from Hollywood bombshell to lingerie mogul, life lessons from an accidental feminist. And I really should have just called it accidental feminist, because everything I did in my life, I was bucking the odds, and going against people. And that's what this book shows, So it talks about my early days in LA, but there's a lot of actors that, that accomplished what I did. But then it takes you through my 40s when I get married and reunite. So finding love in your 40s for the first time, and then starting over with a completely different other business, which was complete, and just even business, learning about business. I mean, I knew how to handle myself as a business, to sell myself,
right.
Even how, there was a whole different world to financing.
Business plans and financing and all of that. I always go, don't.
Well, people asked us in the beginning, but my husband and I, what our business plan were, and at that time it was just survival. Because
I was going to say, to make money.
Yeah, well, that's
your business plan.
He had been here, and I had done okay financially, but when we met, it was like he had gone through a divorce, and my husband had many businesses, but he didn't have the wife behind him that would have said, you need to keep that business, don't sell it. So we're actually a perfect match, because he's a little bit more serious, but he's really good with financials and numbers. And I'm like, creative, a squirrel. I got to
That's me and my husband. He's like much more subdued and whatever. And he's just like, I love you, babe. That's my babe. Like just me, losing keys, can't find my phone, singing around the house, talking to myself, doing, whatever. And he's just like, that's my baby.
It's really
but if there were two of us in the relationship,
that would implode.
It would be a nightmare.
I am so glad that I did not end up marrying. I'm still friendly with the fellow I was dating for the most years, but a stand-up comic in myself, because basically, at one point he said to me, we were living in a really nice apartment in Beverly Hills, but he said, we talk about marriage. He said, you'll never be worse. You'll never do worse than this. And I know that sounds horrible, but it's like, but I want more. I want to own a house one day. I want to have, I don't mean that I need,
right.
crazy stuff, but I need to have goals in life. And there has to be, and at that time, if you turn 40 in the industry, it's not like now. You can.
Well, right. There was between 40 and 60. It was the barren waestland of like, you were hot, you were a teacher, or then you did nothing for a while and then became a grandma.
Yeah. Thank goodness, that really has changed. And I'm really excited to see women's roles. But
women in their 40s are interesting. We don't give a
The most
anymore.
beautiful.
Like, we are fascinating creatures to watch.
No, if I could have held at 47, that's what Andrea is, I think, right? That is actually the best age. But the book takes you through that, and then it gives life lessons along the way. And what, when people are telling you, don't do it, don't do it. And even when my husband, I started this business, and then starting a business, it teaches you how to actually start a business, because people have great ideas and they don't know what to do with them. So men like the book too. It's funny because back in the day, Up All Night was more for men, and now my life is more about women, helping women.
Yeah.
Women with breast cancer. We do beautiful mastectomy bras, and we just do a lot of great things. And
I love that.
Do a lot. We do. We had a meeting yesterday. We were talking about the kind of charity work I've done in which we've really gotten. Have had the opportunity to give back. We've done a lot of breast cancer and just cancer, and so many different charities through my years here. But that's obviously anything with women is our main focus, and just helping women who feel like, I'm an entrepreneur. I have this idea, but I don't know what to do with this idea.
Right.
So that's what this book talks about, and goes through, it has some fun pictures, and it has some fun stories, and some of those before Me Too moments, and some really funny ones, because there were funny ones. But I use comedy too. I was a big turnoff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, some guys.
I learned from Bob and Dave. You use comedy to diffuse absolutely painful. I mean, I watched them laugh through the deaths of their sisters. I make horrifically timed jokes about, because it's how I learned to cope with things, much to, my mom's consternation. But
you do.
Yeah, because I learned, I'm like, I can't change this, and it's uncomfortable. So if I can laugh at it, then it's not as scary.
It is really good. And at the end of the day, laughter really is good. And it really is good for cancer and people that are going through things. So laughter is like truly a great medicine. So I used it to get me out of sticky situations. I still do sometimes, but it was really fun writing this book. And it was more about just finding love. People think, oh, after 40, you can't find love, or after 50, you can't find love. My sister, God bless her, is 84. She was in a relationship. Well, she was married and in a relationship for many years. He passed, sadly. And then she's not a girl's girl. I love girlfriends. I have girlfriends, but a lot of women are just like, I'm a man, and they just like men. She's old school. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful, but how are you going to find someone, at like 79? She went on one of these dating sites for like older people.
Yes. Yeah.
Like silver or whatever. I don't know. Silver panties. I don't know what it's called.
Right.
And
the silver fox.
She's been with this man 5 years. She's 84. He's 88, and they still get it on.
Yes. You know what? Good for them. We discount older people too much. Yes. And you know what? I mean, now that I'm getting older, and the funny thing is, I feel the same. You don't age in your mind. As you say. My mom always says that. She goes, I'm always shocked to see the person staring back at me, because in here, I'm still, 37.
And my sister, she's always been, she's the one that should have played the roles I played, because she was the slutty one. I wasn't. She was the slut. I wasn't. She flirted with men. She dated.
Well, there was great character development for you. You were like, yes, I see.
Oh, did we lose her?
Oh no, we've lost her.
Right.
Her sister cut her off. Her sister was like, that's it, you're
that
done. Goodbye.
I'm Andrea Gunning, host of the all-new podcast, There and Gone. It's a real-life story of two people who left a crowded Philadelphia bar, walked to their truck, and vanished.
Nobody hears anything. Nobody sees anything.
Did they run away? Was it an accident? Or were they murdered?
A truck and two people just don't disappear.
The FBI called it murder for hire.
It was definitely murder for hire for Danielle, not for Richard.
He's your son, and in your eyes, he's innocent. But in my eyes, he's just some guy my sister was with.
In this series, I dig into my own investigation to find answers for the families and get justice for Richard and Danielle. Listen to There and Gone South Street on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Greetings, ghouls and girls, and welcome to Haunting, Purgatory's premier podcast for all things afterlife. I'm your host, Teresa. We'll be bringing you different ghost stories each week, straight from the person who experienced it firsthand. Some will be unsettling.
When she was with her imaginary friend, she would turn and look at you, and you felt like something else was looking at you too.
Some unnerving.
The more I looked at it, I realized that the thumb looked more like a claw, like a demon.
Some even downright terrifying.
The things that I saw, heard, felt in that house were purely demonic.
But all of them will be totally true. Listen to Haunting on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you live and get your podcasts.
What's the hardest question you've ever asked your mom?
Mom, what happened to your sister Margarita?
For me, it's about a murder that's haunted my family for decades.
They said that they took her, and the next day she was already dead.
To find the answers, I went to the place where my family is from, El Salvador, and found that the story starts with a priest who was killed on the altar and sparked a war. I'm Jasmine Romero, and on Sacred Scandal Nation of Saints, join me as we uncover an unholy war, one that includes government cover-ups and politicians turned death squad leaders. But I'll also tell you the story of one family, mine, because on this journey, I found out that we had more secrets than I knew. Listen to Sacred Scandal, Nation of Saints, as part of the My Cultura podcast network, available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Dun, 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 dun.
Computer.
Hello.
There we go. I said you call one sister a slut, and look what happens.
She would love it.
Right? Yeah, she would have been like, no, say more. Yeah, exactly. And I thought maybe your people were like, no, God, don't say that.
That is so funny. She would love it. And with some, I'll just wait for 1 second.
You know what? Hey, when I'm 84 years old, I hope someone speaks about me that way. It was like, she was wild.
Oh, my sister
was out of her mind. I'll be like, yes, I was.
No,
look at me now. I'm old and wrinkly and pruny, but God damn it, I was hilarious.
She would be proud. I actually got her an Instagram page before she found this guy, and her name is Nona Sassy on Instagram. And her pictures,
oh my God,
are gorgeous.
I love her.
She's sexy, and she's young in mind, and my niece, who's in her 50s, her daughter and I are like really good friends. But
I love this.
Sister is what I started to say about being older. And that's a really good topic, is that people become invisible. Like even with doctors, what happened is they're like, well, I'm not going to save them. They're like, whatever, they've lived a great life. That's not how it should be, because they do have a lot to give. And on the other hand, you know, my sister's a hoot, and the doctor told me by her still having sex, that she will live a long life. That it's
true, right?
Healthy.
It's true.
It's physical.
It helps things. You
heard it here, folks.
Helps you feel young.
But it's true. And so, you know, I am happy to see that older women, like some of these gals, like Jane Fonda, that have been acting like, oh my God, Carol Burnett, like,
hilarious, love,
hilarious. I mean, I'm so happy because they have so much to give. And it's just, you know, as women, it was bad enough that for you guys, that your lifespan in acting was short.
Right.
And then now you've got a whole life if you want to continue to keep going for as long as you want.
It's very true. My friend Paulina Portskova wrote an excellent book very much about the topic. You know, she obviously was a supermodel and, you know, all of this stuff, but is a brilliant woman. And again, was always discounted because, oh, you're pretty, so you can't possibly be an author. You couldn't be a writer. You couldn't be intelligent. You know, and she's brilliant. And she wrote this whole book about finding the joy in that aging and in that invisibility of that suddenly you're not here for consumption. I'm not here to make you happy. I'm not here to provide you with an idealized version of femininity. I'm just here to be.
I love it.
Yeah. And that's it. And there is a freedom in that. And I think it starts happening in your 40s, which is why I think we see a lot of women. I think it's been discussed. We see women all of a sudden finding themselves, their kids are in their 20s and they're like, wait. I've been doing all of this for everybody else. Who am I? And there's great power in that.
That's not right. I didn't feel like I was me till 47. And then I was married to Vic, and I started a whole other business. And I felt the prettiest, the sexiest. I felt the most empowered. And then
because you feel confident, because you're not worrying about what other people. It's not about other people.
And then when you get older, Then you get worse. You start saying anything, and that.
Yeah, it's true. My mom says that. She goes, I don't give a shit anymore. I say what I want. And she'll start to say something, and I get kind of a look, and she's like, I'm old. I can say it. I'm going to say it. And I'm like, all right, go for it. Yeah.
Funny. Always in LA, I would, always lie a couple of years. Now it's like, no, I'm good. I won't say it now because I'm afraid too many people say it now that I'm making my comeback. But you know what? I actually do embrace it. And what's funny, my husband and I live in Florida now because our biggest customer is Home Shopping HSN, but we're all over the world. We're in all over UK, Australia, Canada, along with.
Yeah, it's a hugely successful business.
It's really exciting.
Amazing.
And I'm really excited about my product. I really am. And another thing we're doing right now, and you all have to come use this, we're building a studio. We have 2 large buildings, and one we're turning into a complete sound stage at the moment.
Ooh.
That's kind of a coming back to things that I love. It's a podcast. People can rent it. We can supply, them. We can produce. Whatever. So that's
smart with everybody doing podcasts and needing spaces to like shoot that aren't.
I mean, people even use rehearsal spaces and bands and so for movies and films that come down here. So it's really exciting. So I feel like, when you hit a certain age, it doesn't mean like, people are like, I'm retired. I don't want to retire. I mean, I love what I'm doing now with my business. If I get to do a few acting things, that'll be a blast. But if the studio takes off, whatever, how exciting to just keep going in life. I want to live just my best life as keep going. That's my husband.
It's a surprise cameo by Van.
He's Blaine just had his teeth cleaned. This is what happens with a wife. I don't know about you. Are you married?
No,
Andrea?
but I've been with my boyfriend for 10 years. So it'll be common law at some point, and I won't have to spend money on a wedding. So yeah.
Oh no, I think it is good. You can get whatever. And I'm all about that. But I'm the one, and at your age, you probably don't have that to worry too much, but you get to a certain age and they don't want to go to doctors anymore. So I am the one who does all of the scheduling. I'm the one who pushes him to do stuff. And then he's like, I don't want to go anymore. I'm like, I'm keeping you alive. If not, I'm going to be with another younger man. So you go.
I just had this conversation with my husband this morning who had to call our doctor. He's got to go in for some tests and, cholesterol, blah, blah, blah. But like, it's just so funny because, he was like, I never had insurance or a doctor or a thing. And then like we got married and I was like, okay, now you have to make an appointment. Now you have to go do this. And, it's true. It's why married men live longer is because they're married to someone who nags them to take care of themselves. It's not that they're happier. They're just nagged into compliance and whatever. You know what I mean?
It's so true. It's so true. I mean, the true thing about a woman behind a man, and we really are good partners, as it sounds like you guys are in our business, even though, yes, we argue because he hits the pillow and he's out. I hit the pillow and I'm like, what do you think about this idea? I have a new idea for this and that. Okay, I don't know. I got to bring this up on this podcast because we can talk girl stuff, right?
Yeah. We can talk whatever we want. Let's do it.
What are we talking about?
I'm going to do it. And my girls will look.
Do it. What are we doing? Oh, I'm excited. This is a Rhonda Shear moment. What is it? What are those?
You all
are those underwear?
Heard of period panties?
I have some.
Yes. Oh my God.
I don't have a period anymore.
I have some. I am obsessed with them. I use them because I use cups and I try not to use disposable products anymore. Okay. Which I'm sure everyone is now thrilled to know that we've had this conversation before. Yeah. Candace used to talk about it. Who cares? I don't care. I don't care. It's part of natural. We are women and we get periods. Duh. There we are.
Okay, this is so exciting and on so many levels because my team, I've got young, fabulous, gorgeous women. Me. They're very empowered. And I love listening to young people because I get ideas from them, just like older people. And like the bra, which is my very famous bra. That was something that I came up with a concept for my ever-changing body after I left the board. But the period panties, they were telling me, you don't know, this is in, this is it. Girls are doing this. So I started interviewing all my models. There's no doubt I've stayed in businesses where I'm completely always surrounded by gorgeous girls.
Right.
My team, my models are at the studios anyway. So we created our own, they're called Shear Protection. And I went on air and sold them 2 weeks ago and they flew out. So now
so you're going to make so much damn money with this.
Leggings.
They are, it is such a great new
It's brilliant
idea though, because it really, like women have used products for so long that are really damaging to us and also to the environment.
Damaging to you, damaging to the planet. Things I started with were really funny, but I'm really excited about this because now we've been asked to go further than what's out there with leggings that you can work out in and then just take them off, with pockets.
Yes.
I'm going to send you all kinds of stuff. Don't worry about that.
Oh my God. I'm like, yeah.
With the shorts. So we're doing like a whole, and then also when I went on air, I also said to my older ladies, I'm like, okay, so if you sneeze or cough too much.
Look, it changes when you get old, people. I'm just saying, not everything is as well, what's the word? Sealed. You know what I mean? And everything is not quite as.
I have to use that.
You kind of don't. Yeah, it's not like the airtight seal has. It's worn out a little bit. You know what I mean? It's at some point in your life.
Well, you
turn the bottle over and it leaks a little. You know what I mean?
We're gonna have to do a product for you and get you on HSN for both of you. We should do the.
Throw me in.
Yeah, the fuller bust.
Here I am.
The menopause boobs.
I mean,
you know what would be good for you girls is, because I was smaller, and then no one tells you as you get older, you keep growing. What great would be to do the ultimate push-up bra, which are out there, but not the way I do, because I do them really comfortable, and make fuller house, like meaning the girls are up and you can be petite.
Fuller fuller blouse bra.
Ooh.
There we go.
You see why you would be good? Why you would be good? Because when you go on air, there's a lot of celebrities that go on the shopping networks and on TikTok all over, but they're not real. And to sell, the reason why people go, why are you successful? I said, because I talk the talk. I really talk about nipples and things like that, because women.
Oh God. Right. Yeah. Things that we all have. Why are we freaking out about this?
But people don't talk about it. So if you're just really honest and you talk about in a product, and if you believe in it, then it works, so I see, we have to talk about that, because I think
we do.
And again, you could be the push-up bra that I've never had.
You'd be surprised, but you're not the first person who said that to me. No,
I'm Andrea Gunning, host of the all-new podcast, There and Gone. It's a real-life story of two people who left a crowded Philadelphia bar, walked to their truck, and vanished.
Nobody hears anything. Nobody sees anything.
Did they run away? Was it an accident? Or were they murdered?
A truck and two people just don't disappear.
The FBI called it murder for hire.
It was definitely murder for hire for Danielle, not for Richard.
He's your son, and in your eyes, he's innocent. But in my eyes, he's just some guy my sister was with.
In this series, I dig into my own investigation to find answers for the families and get justice for Richard and Danielle. All that I know. Listen to There and Gone South Street on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Greetings, ghouls and girls, and welcome to Haunting, Purgatory's premier podcast for all things afterlife. I'm your host, Teresa. We'll be bringing you different ghost stories each week, straight from the person who experienced it firsthand. Some will be unsettling.
When she was with her imaginary friend, she would turn and look at you, and you felt like something else was looking at you too.
Some unnerving.
The more I looked at it, I realized that the thumb looked more like a claw, like a demon.
Some even downright terrifying.
The things that I saw, heard, felt in that house were purely demonic.
But all of them will be totally true. Listen to Haunting on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you live and get your podcasts.
What's the hardest question you've ever asked your mom?
Mom, what happened to your sister Margarita?
For me, it's about a murder that's haunted my family for decades.
They said that they took her, and the next day she was already dead.
To find the answers, I went to the place where my family is from, El Salvador, and found that the story starts with a priest who was killed on the altar and sparked a war. I'm Jasmine Romero, and on Sacred Scandal Nation of Saints, join me as we uncover an unholy war, one that includes government cover-ups and politicians turned death squad leaders. But I'll also tell you the story of one family, mine, because on this journey, I found out that we had more secrets than I knew. Listen to Sacred Scandal, Nation of Saints, as part of the My Cultura podcast network, available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's funny because what I keep hearing you talk back to is this idea of the accidental feminist. And I love that the ability to take the thing which has made you so discounted in the world, which is your body or your sexiness or your whatever, how you're visibly seen, and taking that and turning it inside out and being like, okay, fine. You want to talk about my boobs? I'm going to make a gigantic bra company and we're going to talk about boobs. You know what I mean? Like it's...
But you know, you're 100% right, because back then I couldn't fight it. That's why they put women in the box. It was the jiggle era. Everybody had the fake boobs. Everybody was jiggling, you know? And so I finally got so fed up of trying to play against what they saw me as that I went for it. I just went big time for it.
Jody, didn't your boobs have their own Twitter at one point? Like your boobs had their own.
The joke that I always made was that they had their own titter.
Oh, hey.
They did back when Twitter was a thing. Now it's X and
you can't do that.
But it was when it was Twitter.
I still think you could use titter. I think that's a really funny word. It's a funny word.
It is. It's a hilarious word, and it's great. And I think actually we had this conversation, and I first made that joke in a group chat with the Full House cast because I think Stamos weirdly sent to the group. He was like, "Dude, your boobs have their own like." He's like, "This is insane," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's my titter," and everyone was like, "Oh my god." But
this is what we talk about in the Full House chat.
Well, me and my boobs are going to confer after this, and we're gonna have a meeting.
Can you imagine?
My left one is often resistant to things, but the right one's usually, that one's in for the party. So I think it's just a little matter of convincing.
I think you can convince it. I think Andrea's could convince you.
Yeah. I think so too. If anyone's boobs could give mine a good talking to, it's Andrea. I'm so glad that we've gone off the rails.
We'll give you the titters, and then Andrea can do the matching panty set.
Perfect. Oh, okay. There we go. We're done.
Do not separate. We're separates, but we're together.
Yes, we're separates, but we're a set that you could buy together.
What a brainstorming session this has been.
What a wild ride this has been. And this is our shows are always like this. They go in the complete sideways. I have no idea what direction I'm taking us in sort of moment.
You're both so good at this. So good. It doesn't surprise me at all.
Thank you so much, Rhonda. It has been such an amazing pleasure to have you on the show today. We keep saying it, but we are so blessed and grateful to have the people that we have had in the orbit of Full House and Fuller House, whether they did a guest appearance or were on it for, seasons or a few episodes. We just keep having this amazing experience of so many incredible people, talented, creative, funny, and most importantly, kind, sweet, good humans. And we just keep having that, that's who keeps reappearing on this show.
So it's so good for you. It's so good to, and also to show these people, because maybe some are completely retired from the business, but I feel like for the most part, the acting community is really, I have the chills saying this, tight-knit and a loving.
Yeah.
Because they're already different, people, they're an actress. What? You're this.
Right? Yeah. We're the weird little carnies.
But I was on a set 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, and it was just so much fun for that day. And it's just a loving group. So I think to showcase them and to show what they've done or where their lives are is so wonderful that you're doing that. And also for you all to know that one appearance on your show was a big difference in my life and in my career. And I will continue when I go to the autograph shows. That picture of me as Kimmy will be right behind me, and I will be.
I love that. Seriously, an honor.
Truly, it was an honor for me to do that. It was a blast and one of the more fun things, because it was just it's just this young lady that I'm following around, and it was just a couple of lines, but they were. But
it was fun.
It was you were iconic in that moment, and we are so lucky to have you as a role model. What a great role model you are! So inspirational.
Seriously, as an accidental feminist who is now doing it intentionally and being quite the badass at it, might I say.
Yes. Well, I'm going to call on you girls because you are ladies. I would
please do.
You. I would love to really talk to you about doing a product.
Yeah. Let's do it. You know how to get a hold of me. You got Terry. Just hit her up. I see her all the time.
Female power. Female power. It's really.
Yes. We love it. Well, Rhonda, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to give a quick plug to where people can find you or where they can find some of your products, your books, I know we'd love to give you a moment to let everybody be able to find you.
Well, I'm really easy on you can find me on hsn.com on Home Shopping Network, or you can go to rhondashear.com. You can buy my book there, or you can buy it on Amazon. And then, of course, I'm on Twitter.
Right.
Twitter, Facebook.
Right, which we now call X, which isn't really, it's sort of a lateral move from Titter, really, to go to X. But
I don't like X. I'm sorry, I would call it. Actually,
I don't like X for a lot of reasons, but yeah.
I think I'm just going to call it Titter. I really think that's.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's fine. I approve.
Maybe we can just start our own.
And if it pisses off Elon Musk, even better. So yeah,
great.
That's great.
Let's get to him. I'm sure he likes it. He has enough kids to prove that. I think he likes Titters.
It's true.
But anyway, thank you, ladies. We will reach out to you. And bless you for doing this. It's really awesome. I saw Lydia Cornell, and I love her as well. So.
Lydia's great. Yeah, I was just messaging her 2 days ago, actually, on Instagram. Yeah, again, we've had such
a people that you're putting together.
Just an incredible group of people. I'm every time I do this show and get to talk to people, it really is. It's cheesy, but we keep saying it. We're so goddamn lucky to have gotten to do this.
Truly.
So thank you for joining our show today, Rhonda. It was such a pleasure. We loved having you. And we will be talking soon.
Absolutely.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Rhonda. Bye.
That was such a great episode. I love her. She's
the best.
Yeah. Hilarious.
We had so many great role models. We didn't even know it at the time.
That's what I'm saying.
In
like
89.
Every time, like I said, every time we have a guest on this show and we find out the breadth of their work and their experience and who they are and what they've done in the world, like I keep being amazed by like the people that we have been around our whole lives that we really appreciated and loved, but had no idea the enormous impact that they were making on the world. I mean, Lydia, Lenny Rips, just like Whit Hertford, all of these people who are out there doing really incredible, amazing, creative things. And I'm just, wow.
Yeah.
We are so lucky.
We're so lucky to be able to get back in touch with them.
Yeah.
Because you said, like, when you're a kid, you're just like, it's like tunnel vision. You're only worried about yourself.
Right.
But yeah, no, now that we're adults, we can appreciate them and learn from them still, like all these years later. Oh, well, I loved that conversation.
This
Rhonda's
was excellent.
Force.
Yes. Oh, Rhonda is a force. I love her. I think she and I would probably, we have a very similar sense of humor, I feel.
Yes. Oh, yes. Your kindred spirits, definitely.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much to all of you Fanaritos for listening to this incredible interview with the extremely talented and hilarious Rhonda Shear. We loved being able to talk to her and hear all of those amazing stories that inspired us. I mean, hopefully they inspired you as well. And if you're looking to find us on Instagram, you can find us at How Rude Podcast, or you can also send us an email at howrudepodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you're liking the podcast wherever you're listening to it and subscribing to it so that you can get all the episodes as soon as they come out, so that you can listen to the best interviews like the one with Rhonda as soon as they're up on the page. And we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us for another fun episode of How Rude Tanneritos. The world. Wait,
you
what?
Completely for you.
I'm
completely
just. I know.
I'm
sorry.
Didn't you? The world is small, but the
the
door's always open.
Full.
What did we decide?
But the blouse
on?
is full. No, the world is small.
The bra is full.
Yes,
the bra is always full.
The bra's always full. Bra's always full.
Okay, there we go.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
For this episode, it works.
The house is full, but the door's always open.
That's it. Okay.
That's what it is.
Thank you, Maddie, producer.
Thanks, Maddie. Yeah, she's like, no, you idiots. This is okay, here we go.
She's
ready?
like, wrap
ready?
up the show. Get it right.
Get off of this. Ready? The house is full, but the door's always open.
Nailed it.
I kind of like the first one better. That's right.
Okay. You can change it. You're allowed.
No, I don't want to change. No, I'm just saying the stupid joke that I made was funny.
I like the bra is full. The
That's what I'm
is
saying.
full.
The bra is full. Yeah, the bra is full and the joke's got to work.
Yeah, the bra is full and the joke's got to work.
The joke is full and the bra's got to work. Yeah. I mean, both of those things are true.
Yeah.
Let's just sign off
Why are we
before we
such
keep doing
idiots?
it.
We're
Other
such
stupid
idiots.
things. Yeah. Bye, guys.
I'm Andrea Gunning, host of the all-new podcast, There and Gone. It's a real-life story of two people who left a crowded Philadelphia bar, walked to their truck, and vanished.
A truck and two people just don't disappear.
The FBI called it murder for hire. But which victim was the intended target and why? Listen to There and Gone South Street on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
In 1980, while El Salvador sat on the brink of war, one man held together the fragile peace, Archbishop Oscar Romero. He was brutally assassinated in front of dozens of his loyal followers. His death marked the start of a civil war that left more than 75,000 people dead and 1 million more displaced around the world. My family includes both, those that fled and those that died. Listen to Sacred Scandal, Nation of Saints on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, and welcome to Haunting, Purgatory's premiere podcast. I'm your host, Teresa. We'll be bringing you different ghost stories each week, straight from the person who experienced it firsthand. Some will be unsettling, some unnerving, some even downright terrifying. But all of them will be totally true. Listen to Haunting on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.